Hey people, I was reading this poem in Deuteronomy 6 and it talks about one specific tattoo. It's it's the last 6 lines and the poem's called Teach Your Children. So I got it all broke down and spelled out and some pictures to go with it to explain it well. And we'll break it all down with this letter meaning chart. And so when we're done, there's going to be no denying it. The rabbi is not going to be able to deny this because it reads straight out in English. So first I want to get a couple shout outs. O.D.L. Hoffman left me this link the other day. And I looked at it a little bit then, and it struck me last night that that word for Egypt in the Hebrew is the mystery from, and I looked at it, and sure enough, there's 4 countries over there that called the Jupiter the mystery from, and that's why in the Greek it's called the Egypta, the Jupiter. But in the Hebrew, it's called the mystery from. So that's why I started doing these movies. When I started reading, I was needing all the help I could get, and I'm glad I got that one. I suspected it for a while, and it's really going to help break a lot more of this down. And this second shout out, it goes out to Orrin Joseph. This is he's over there in Sparta. If you're around there, you might want to go talk to him. He's the smartest guy on Facebook. Everything he posts is genius, whether it's his words or somebody else's. And maybe you go get a tattoo while you talk to him, and you definitely gonna learn something. I haven't seen anything dumb come out of his mouth or his page yet. And so this is also for all them babbling preachers that get in front of the tube and in front of the camera and start babbling off like they know what God's word is. And we can see it in the Bible. It says it's them that's playing the harp and the flute. They a bunch of jackasses and monkeys. And we can see it right here. They're the sons of Jubal. Jubalieve. Do you believe? The conware to see to gab. To run their trap. And as soon as you hear them start talking, using all them hacking noises, they can't read this because this is English. All that Hebrew was invented just to keep them dumb. So this poem's here in the end of Deuteronomy 6, 20 through 25, and this is what it looks like. And I started to break down the whole thing until I saw that tattoo, it talking about that tattoo, and I thought I'd just concentrate on it and get it all straight. But this was the title on it: Teach Your Children. And so this is all wrong. They got none of this right, and we're gonna get to it. So if you don't get this, I'll leave the link at the end. I made this movie the other day, School for Scribes, Ancient Alchemy, and it teaches how to read the punctuation and a little bit about this. But it's closer to English than any other language. Called Learn Ancient Alchemy. And if you come here looking for spiritual advice, throw your TV out. There's nothing good on there. You can't even get the truth out of public broadcasting. It's all lies just to keep control over you. Throw it out and put your earphones in. And I got a playlist of some guided meditations. And Paul Santisi got my favorite one for astral projecting. And you might be able to do it in the first trip. It might take you a couple months, but it all comes from inside. There's nothing outside for you. if you're looking for some spiritual advice. I'm just teaching how to read the ancient language that they're trying to destroy. So this is at Deuteronomy 6:22, and you go to Bible Hub, and if you hit the Hebrew, it looked like this. I usually read it on the interlinear, but my computer doesn't type backwards. So if I'm going to type it out, I do it this way, so it's up straight and down. But this is what it looks like. And so I got it pulled off of here, and I put these I put the letters that you can recognize beside it, because these block style Aryan, block style Hebrew, they're real hard to tell apart. The H and the T are so close. It's difficult. And so what it is you got 22 letters, and they only need 22 to do the 26, because this Vav is the connected, and it's the W, the V, and the U. The B is sometimes pronounced as V, just like Spanish, and the Yod is the I, the J, and the Y, and it's the hand. It means to work. And so there's 3 punctuations, and I marked them in yellow here. And so I just now noticed that I've got this A and the U turned the wrong way. It should be TTUA, tattoo, TTUA. So I'm going to splice this in. So this is the Hebrew writing down the middle, and this A means to read this backwards. And so instead of A, Vav, Aleph, Vav, Tet, Tet, or Ta, Ta, it's Ta, Ta, Vav, A, tattoo. It says tattoo, and we're going to prove it without a doubt. And so the next punctuation is this line here, and this is a mirror, and it means to read all this backwards where you came from. So that's why I've got it printed out this way, the V-I-T-N, V-I-T-N, and then when I had to go back up backwards, I got them backwards. Now it's the N-T-I-V, or the N-T-I-U, or they could be J-U. They change as you go. And then this tack, and this tack just means read the next word. Instead of read it B-I-T-U, you read it backwards and then forwards. So it's U-T-I-B or W-T-I-B, and then back this way, I-T-U. And so I printed all this out, and that's all that is. So you don't have to learn these letters right now, but you can pull up that chart. Just Google ancient letter meaning chart. They're all the same, and you can learn this. And so this is a poem, and it rhymes. And so it's to connect, or to make. Vav means connected, so if something's connected, it's to. It says to make tain. Tain is to acquire, to attain, and then you. And this is the one they give the mean Jehovah, or Yahweh, or Lord. Every time you see your Bible says Lord God, or not every time, but most of the time it says Lord God, it actually says you yell. This is where your word Jehovah comes from right here. It's J-O-V-I-S. That's the real Jehovah, and that's the Villa of Jupiter. That was their name for Jupiter. But this means you. And until it has a tack in the word in front of it, if there was a tack here, then we would read this to have you. Read backwards first. The E-V-E is to have. And then the J would only be read once. The J, the I, and the Y. So it would be to have you. And that's your addictions, or what have you. So what this says is to attain you, tattoo. Or to from Fathom, or connected from Fathom. fathom. The P and the Q change up. The Q changes up to K and F or PH, and the P is P or F, depending on where the language come from. And so to attain you tattoo, connected from fathom, and it's over here, to attain you, the tattoo, to connected from fathom, to from fathom, of the godly form, GDLYM, the godly from, to royum. Roy is the ancient word for king. It was the roy, to royum, to the royal. And then you hit this wall, and this reads backwards. And so I got it wrote over here backwards, but it reads backwards and back up now. So now these words are all reading backwards. M-Y-O-R-U. Y-O-R-U. And so it says from your to. Your is ancient knowledge, from the ancient knowledge, the your. The your, my ledge. That's not distance, but that's my ledger, my writings. The your to my ledge. And then you see all these words, most of them read backwards and forwards, and that's how you get the meaning from, because you see that this connect from fathom, when it's backwards it says from it palm to. From it palm to. And so this is the hand of fathom. It's known as the hand of fathom. The Hamza. It's got a big eyeball in the center of it, staring you down. From your to my ledge, from it palm to. Tattoo, have I. Now it's not you now, it's have I. Or have in, have I in, have in to, have in tie to, have in tie, and vav is connected, means to, have in tied to attain you tattoo, connect from fathom, the godly form, to the royal, from the your to my ledge, from it palm to tattoo, have in tie to. And so this is the only time you're going to find this word in there. They say it's in there in other times, but it's actually spelled different. There's one other time that it has an M on the end, and so it's from the tat, and it has the same word, fathom, but it's actually talking about painting on the boat on that line. So we read this down, and we got to the mirror and we read this back up. And on the way back up, everything reads the same way. It doesn't matter if it has an A here or not. It all reads the same way on the way back up. And then when we get here, we come back down here and read it again. And so to get this to rhyme right, it goes from, this is the first line. To attain you tattoo, connect from fathom, the godly form to royum. From your to ledge, from it palm to, the tattoo have in tie to. And then this word for Egypt, like I say, when you see it in, there was no such thing as Egypt. Nobody knew of any ancient place called Egypt. It's a new creation. They created it with the Hebrew language. Since King James, they created the Hebrew language since then, in order to mesh it. And Hitler killed everybody who could read and write the old, recognize the writings. They just let the dumb ones live, and then they created this new language in the 20th century. And it's difficult because it's an impossible language. But So now it's in the mystery from, the MXRYM, or in the mystery from. And so the mystery from is Jupiter. And this is the mystery. The mystery from in Piro. This is a Piro. It's not a pharaoh, this is a Piro. It means, a P is a letter for open. B means in, it's house. It means in. P means open row. And this is what we call our open row boat down here in the swamp, is a Piro. And this is the mystery in the Piro. And so this is Ra, and Ra is row, and that's the first day when it talks about light. He's Ra, the rower, the oar, to row the oar. And so if you don't see Ra in the boat, they try to say that this is Ra, but it's not. This is Ra. If Ra's not in the boat, Ra's driving the boat. He's always head on the oar. But this is Jupiter. This is the mystery. The mystery from in Piro. To in call. To be in KL. To in call what WT. And if you saw the movie, that one I talked about 2 movies ago, I'll leave the link, and it teaches about what and what to. And everybody should know this is the first games you play with your kids, but it means the connected seal. And seals are writings. T means writings. And to what tie, WTI, what tie in it to. From the mystery in the Piro. To encall what tie it to. To bind to see inna, new. To bind to see the inner. And you see the inner like this when it's talking about income. To see, it'll be OINIKM. To see income, your income. But this is to see the inner new. In the mystery from in the Piro. To encall what tie in it to bind to see the inner new. And so this is where your American flag come from. And it's an ancient game. When you play war games, you catch the other guy's flag and you turn it upside down. You see all the Egyptian kings and gods are always sitting on this flag. And it actually come from the Trinity. You've seen it in Pirates of the Caribbean. The East India Spice Company. That's what this is. The Trinity of Jacob. And so somehow these ancients knew that there was an eyeball staring at us in Jupiter. And you see in some other movies, if you know anything about it, they talk about there's a umbilical cord of a Birkeland current coming out of the star systems, and it comes and connects to Jupiter. And then Jupiter, this is Jupiter, the one that pushes the sun. And this umbilical cord runs from Jupiter to the sun, and then it runs from the sun to the other planets. And I saw it somewhere a year ago where NASA had changed a filter in one of the satellites, and they could see this umbilical cord. It come out of the star system, it run through a Z-pinch, and then it comes to Jupiter. And then from there, it comes out of Jupiter, it goes to the sun. And that's why you always see the Kephra. The Kephra is always pushing the sun. That's where your word Capri come from. This is the oldest temple in Capri. Kephra, the villa of Jupiter, of Jehovah, villa of Jehovah. And you can see here the Kephra, the Kephri, little island off here, off of Italy, where the oldest temple of Jupiter was. And all them ancient temples of Jupiter, they'll have the rings on them, and you see the bands across them. They'll have the rings. They knew they could see Jupiter plainly. And so the way I get this mystery from her, it's actually the MX. The X is the TZ, the Mitzri from. The Mitzri from. And it was the ancient letter. It meant plants. And it's the Tazadi, the Mitz, the Mitzri. And a lot of times they use that X for S, as in sex. It'll be XEX, sex. And if you try to say that, but the Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad wasn't until 600 A.D., well, that's a lie. Everything you know is a lie. What this means is from Hamad. From Hamad. And I think that's the 6th commandment. In the 10 commandments, it says, learn the writings of Hamad. And you learn the writings of Hamad from Hamad. So this, where their interpretation, these small letters, this is the way they see it. And this interpretation was King James forced over the Greek, and then that was forced over the Hebrew, or this Aryan alchemy. But you see where it says Egypt, it's in the mystery from, and we can look at it here in the Greek, and we can see the Egypt here is the Ayad-Gipto, the Jupa, G-U-P-T-O. So all the ancients knew that Jupiter was God. It's where your word Jew come from. He was the sky father. And that was to the Romans, the Greeks, the so-called Egyptians in Kemet, the people from Kemet. There was no Egypt. He was the God all over. He was the God of the sky and the thunder. Roman mythology, the god Jupiter is the king, the son of Saturn, and the supreme God, the shining Father. So I can't tell anybody to go out and get a tattoo, because I don't have any myself. I don't believe I know anybody that doesn't have any, though all my friends are tattooed fairly well. But no, I was the best bosun mate the Navy ever seen. I done sailed around the world 3 times, and I just didn't want to buy art that I couldn't peel off and sell when I needed some more money to go drink beer and shoot pool. It just wasn't my thing. But we put this rhyme together one time. To attain you, tattoo, to from Fathom, the godly form to Royum. From your to my ledge, from it palm to, the tattoo have I in tie to. In mystery from Impero, to call what tie in it to, bind see enter you. Alright, it's 4 in the morning. I'm gonna cut this off here. Good day, folks.